Hey, what's up everybody? Landon with LMR.com. We're working on the black 85 GT today. This one's been in the collection for quite a long time, and kind of two things we've always tossed around to do to the car is 11-inch brake rotors, like off of the 8793 V8 car, as well as converting it to 5-lug, just to open up our wheel selection just a little bit more. So those are some of the topics we're gonna talk about in this video. The kit we're rolling with, our tried and true, call it the entry level or basic Fox Body 5-lug conversion kit. Up front, you'll get 5-lug brake rotor, bearings, and a seal. I'm speaking on behalf of the early cars, 79 to 86 V8, as well as the 79 to 93 4-cylinder cars, for any of you that may own one of those and you're watching this. If you're going to use an 11-inch rotor, you have to source a good 87 to 93 V8 spindle, as well as an 87 93 V8 caliper, or that we're going to use in this video, the SVO-style caliper. Those are on the site as well. The other thing to this is the ear, where the strut mounts on the 87 to 93 V8 spindle. The mounting pad is a little bit more narrow. You would either have to get a 8793 specific strut, or what a few folks do, they'll stack some good washers to fill the gap here between the strut mounting area and the ear on the spindle, or kind of a purpose built spacer. Pick whichever route you want to go, because if you've already bought a newer set of struts, you probably don't want to buy new struts. With all this, you'll definitely want to get new brake hoses, as well as the correct brake hose bracket that bolts to the frame rail. One last thing on the 8793 V8 spindle, if you're converting a early V8 car or a 4-cylinder car, you will get a little bit of toe in, kind of get some pigeon toe going on. So you'll kind of have to kick your toe out. And then if you're not comfortable with the alignment yourself, definitely take it to your local shop and have them double check your alignment. That way you're not tearing your tires up. We'll go out back here, talk about the rear components. Pretty simple. In that entry or basic 5-lug conversion kit, you'll get new 5-lug axles, drums, axle bearings, axle seals, as well as new studs. Not too much information back here, with the exception of the hub-centric ring. If you're going to be running a 5-lug wheel that has the larger center bore, you will need to run this hub-centric ring. It's going to center that wheel over the flange on the axle, get it in a lot better position before you torque down your lug nuts. So I know what you're probably wondering. Well, Landon, what's the list? What 5-lug wheels can I run? I'll be flat out honest with you. There's just no clear-cut answer to that at all. If you reference the product page for this basic 5-lug conversion kit, we do list out some wheels that we have tested ourselves that we know work with this kit. You know, there's just a lot of wheels out there, and you can't check every single one. So kind of what you run into on fitting some 5-lug wheels is your hub area here on the traditional Fox Body style rotor. A lot of your SN95 or new edge specific wheels, like this Series 3 I have here, you can see the distance between the back side of the center cap and the face of the hub area, or back side of the hub area, however which way you're looking at it here on this particular wheel. And then I'm gonna roll this S89 over, and you can see how deep that is from the back side of the center cap, again, to the face or back side of the hub area on the wheel. And this depth is going to strictly depend on the overall design of the wheel. You know, if that hub area is more inset towards the center line of the wheel, like on this Series 3, that's your reason why that a lot of these wheels won't work. So you're probably gonna ask, well, can I run a spacer? Oh, yes and no. Again, that's all gonna go back to that overall design of the wheel and how much spacer you can effectively run. That way you still achieve a good wheel to fender clearance, as well as an acceptable amount of thread engagement on your lug nut. So I'm gonna take this Series 3 wheel, I'm gonna toss it up here on the black 85. Yes, this tire is technically on the wrong side, but who cares? This is demonstration purposes only, but I'm gonna get it in place, and then I'm gonna so it's already pushing on that center cap. So if I was to try to fully seat this wheel, here's what happens. And then not to mention, it's still not flush against the brake rotor because of the area or clearance inside of this wheel. We're bottomed out on the snout of the rotor. If you wanted to play around with the spacer, you could. Just remember, that's a dice roll as well, because your center to center on your control arm bolts are wider on an 88 to 93 K-members. So if this was on a 88 to 93 car, or let's just say this black 85, for some reason, somebody had swapped K-members at some point. We're dealing with Fox Body Mustangs here. We never know till we know type of deal. But that's also going to have influence on this setup if you were able to run a spacer for your particular wheel, because you could kick that too far out and now you've got some tire defender clearances. So I wish I had all the answers. I wish all the answers existed. Y'all just know that you're kind of playing whatever game you're playing when it comes to 5 lug wheels on a Fox Body Mustang. But kind of back to the grassroots and the nitty gritty of this, the entry level kit is still a really good kit. If you want to open up the 5 lug catalog just a little bit more for your particular car, but I'm going to go ahead and throw up this S89 and you can see how nice this goes on. That gunmetal looks pretty cool on there. We got black on the other side. Y'all let us know maybe which one you like. I'm kind of leaning toward this gunmetal. We had 10 holes on the car, 17-inch 10 holes. I think that'll always be my favorite on the 85, 86 car, simply because they came with a 15-inch 10 hole from the factory, but every once in a while, you gotta kind of mix it up. That way you got something new to look at. So that's pretty much a good rundown on some of this stuff. So we'll go ahead and pass over to William, and he's gonna kind of run y'all through everything on the mechanical side of things.
Here we are at the rear end. What we did to get to this point was took the wheels off, slide the drums off, and then we drained the fluid. Don't forget to take your fill plug out first. Just make sure that comes out before you start this whole process. Now she'll flow. Unbolted the diff cover, that came off, and we were able to remove the pin. Slide the C-clips out, remove the axles. It all worked out, I guess. Remove the seals with our axle shaft. Take your axle, use where your C-clip goes, and you go yoink, and you remove your axle seal. And knocked our bearings out with our special homemade tool. Rear axle bearing, just kind of pre-lube.
And then how are we gonna install this bugger?
With our special tool, bearing installer. With the extra little washer because it wasn't quite large enough. Here we are.
Then what's next?
Seal.
The seal and do the same old dance?
Same old dance.
You don't need no lubrication?
You might put a little bit on the outside, okay.
A little bit of lube goes a long way.
A little bit goes a long way.
We're gonna do the same thing on the other side?
Same thing on the other side, put our bearing in, put our seal in, and then we will put our wheel studs in our axles. We got our wheel stud installer tool that we sell. A couple extra loose washers to kind of lube these things up so they don't build up as much heat. Put our wheel stud in, a couple washers, tool, fancy lug nut.
And then what are you gonna do? Hit it with an impact?
Hit it with an impact. Kind of suck it in. We're there. Slide our axles in, put our C-clip in.
Fancy rod?
Use my finger. Slide our pin back in, put our new pin bolt in. Bolt up the diff cover with our lube blocker gasket. And fill her up with fluid.
All right, what do you got over here? Anti-seize?
Some of that high temp nickel anti-seize lubricant, Motorcraft.
And we're just gonna put it on the hub?
Yeah.
The whole face?
Yeah.
And try not to hit the threads, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little bit.
We're gonna adjust it?
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving up front. What are you gonna set in place?
Oh, jack stand, so the spring don't pop out at me.
And then how are we gonna take this thing out?
One piece at a time.
How's that trick working out for you?
Not good. It makes my arm tired.
All right, let's go up in the air. Maybe you need to stand up and do it. There it is. So we gotta take the strut off.
So now we gotta get this line out and this bracket because
Brake hose.
the brake hose uses a different bracket.
So why do we do this in a weird manner?
So I originally was thinking that I'd pull the brake assembly off as a whole unit and removing the strut would be a little bit easier maybe. Ow. Oh, that was not on there tight at all.
Do you think it will just stick and go flat? Nope. Whoa!
Castle nut. I did this in an unorthodox way, not by the workshop manual. Talking about some key points on our spindles, on our early 85 spindle. It was made to work with 4-lug and 10-inch rotors. Moving to our 5-lug setup that utilizes an 11-inch rotor, your old spindle will not work properly and give you brake clearance for your caliper. And that is the reason you have to source an 87 to 93 V8 spindle. Another key point is your strut mounting surface on the earlier spindle is thicker. Our old strut will not be adequate for our new spindle. Because you can't use your old strut on this new spindle, you will have to use a later 87 to 93 strut. Going back to brakes for a second, with the later model spindle, you will need to source 87 to 93 V8 brakes. The spacing for the caliper is different on the earlier model V8s. They essentially got a 4-cylinder spindle compared to the later 8793 that got an update. And you will need to utilize 8793 V8 hoses along with a new bracket because the locking mechanism is different. Now that we got that cleared up, let's get back to it. All right, before we start the rest of this install, this is our 8793 spindle. This came off of our 93 Goblin car that we upgraded to 9495 spindles. So we're repurposing this, cleaned it up with a wire brush and gave it a nice paint job with some spray paint.
What we doing, William? We packing grease?
We're packing grease. Our bearings came with a race, but our new 11-inch rotor / hub has a race already pre-installed. So all we have to do is pack a bearing. Now we can install our seal. I'm gonna pack this one.
All right, so this is the front bearing?
Yep. There's no such thing as too much grease.
What'd you end up getting to get that on there?
Oh, I had to get our late model spindle hardware kit so we could get this nice and right. When you can't find your hammer, grab your wrench, grab your pliers. It's a hammer. Oh, now we're going to install our brake caliper. Our brakes came supplied with a new banjo bolt and copper washers. I did already wipe these down with brake clean, but because I got greasy, oily gloves on, I'm gonna wipe them down once more. Now that we got this side done, do the same for the other side.
The only thing we gotta do now is what, bleed the brakes?
Bleed the brakes. Oh, we gotta finish tightening up the struts up top. This is our budget OG 50 swap kit.
All right, everybody. Will Joe did a really good job walking us through everything. A really good kit. Car stops a little bit better now. with the 11-inch rotor, as well as the SVO-style caliper that utilizes that 73 millimeter piston. A good little upgrade for this car. Again, still gotta break the ice here on the S89s, be it gunmetal or black. So y'all definitely let us know what y'all think in the comments. And I know some of you are probably gonna say, oh, you gotta leave the 10 hole on there. So, but I appreciate y'all watching. We'll turn you loose. If you find value in what we're doing, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And then until we see you in the next one for all things Fox Body, keep it right here at The Real Enthusiast, LMR.com.